Right now, the federal government has plans to build a massive wall and buoy system for our South Texas border community. Their plans for Webb and Zapata counties, including all of Laredo, are to build 108 miles of a 30-foot steel wall and install 153 miles of these large river buoys that they would install down the middle of the river. These buoys would be anchored with cement blocks, anchored with chains, and divided by these very large razor sharp saw discs in between. Our environmental nonprofit organization commissioned a study by a fluvial geomorphologist, a river expert, that was funded by private landowners to try and understand what are the impacts of this massive system for Laredo. According to Dr. Tompkins, the danger comes from building this wall and buoys and devegetating and denuding the entire riverbank is that it would straitjacket the flow of the river and how it conveys water and debris, especially during times of flood. We know from the floods of 1998 and 2010 that this river floods significantly. And so the wall and the buoys would become like major trash collectors. They would start to collect debris, thousands of trees, shipping containers, animals, trash that would happen during flood events. And so in weak moments, they could cause failures within the wall that would then force openings and concentrate the energy and force of that flood, which would then lead to catastrophic flooding in that particular part of Laredo. The buoys, meanwhile, through this force, would become unanchored and create a chain or necklace of damage and get wrapped around bridge, piers, the bend of the river, other critical infrastructure, and create great harm in that way. When you straitjacket the river with the wall and these buoys, what happens is that you narrow the river, so during flood events, the water levels increase and the velocity speeds up too. That's where the danger comes from, and the accumulation of debris. In order to do this, the federal government has to take the land. They have plans to seize all public and private land in Laredo, as well as in Webb and Zapata, and they plan to do this through eminent domain and condemnation through a process called right of entry. The DHS secretary has waived and suspended nearly 30 federal laws in order to rush and expedite construction of this wall. Everything from federal contracting and procurement laws to doing environmental assessments, all sorts of preservation studies. That is something that anybody else would have to do if they want to do a project along the river, except the federal government doesn't have to follow its own rules here on the border because of that suspension and waiver of those laws. This doesn't happen anywhere else in the United States except here on the border. And they have taken away these federal laws and protections and rights that any other American citizen or community has, which in essence makes us second-class citizens in this country. And that is unacceptable, and it's why you can see so much outrage and public outcry from people in this community and other border communities with this proposed wall and buoy system. Last night at City Council, nearly 20 people gave powerful speeches and comments about their concerns with this wall and buoy system. And it was clear by listening to members of the community over and over what they are asking of the city. Number one, we need to get the engineering and design plans from the federal government immediately. Number two, for the city to hire the right experts to begin running the impacts of the system based on those design plans. And thirdly, is to begin to negotiate an alternative system for Laredo that is not the wall and buoys because of how damaging that this is going to be for Laredo for the long hauls. The community made it very clear last night to the city council and the mayor that just because it's the federal government, Laredo doesn't have to accept any of those terms, especially if they are going to cause great damage and great harm to our neighborhoods, people's lives, our bridges, our infrastructure, our way of life here along the river. And that was very powerful to hear last night. If you live in one of these riverfront neighborhoods in Laredo or have family or loved ones who do, we ask that you speak up. We ask that you call your specific council member and let them know how you feel about this and your desire for them to protect and defend your home and your neighborhood. If you are a member of this community that cares deeply about our way of life, about our future prosperity, about our public safety from this, we also ask that you join us. There is a coalition that has formed that is called the No Border Wall Laredo Coalition that contains landowners, artists, educators, everyday people. And we ask that you join this coalition and get involved with the different outreach and awareness activities and advocacy activities to help protect and defend our home. The reason it's so important that we build this movement and that we speak up and do everything that we can to protect Laredo and our people, it is the immediate fight of not wanting them to take our lands permanently, life and death to protect human life, and to protect property and infrastructure and neighborhoods. But we also have to think about the long term. If we allow the federal government to come in and build this wall and buoy system, we are in essence giving up and giving away forever access to this river. We are giving up access to all sorts of recreation that can happen along the river: birding, hiking, walking, jogging, kayaking, relaxing. And we are also giving up incredible economic revenue and opportunities down the road. We could never build a museum along the river. We could never build anything beautiful along the river because what we're going to have is an off-limits, highly militarized, devegetated zone that is going to be subject to failures from flood events that are going to happen. We deserve to have those billions of dollars that they want to spend on contracts to destroy so much. We instead need those billions of dollars to invest along the riverfront. We deserve something ambitious and majestic and something beautiful to be proud of, to celebrate our culture and all of the biodiversity here, and to have it become a safe place. Those are the kinds of things we want. And border communities like Laredo have a lot of needs that this type of taxpayer money could instead support to meet our needs, to help us be the best center of commerce and trade in the United States and Western Hemisphere, and to have a riverfront that we can be proud of and to utilize and to draw economic revenue and to draw visitors and to have a place for Laredoans to come and enjoy and be very proud of. And that's the future that we want for Laredo and for this riverfront, and not the bleak, terrible one that the current federal government has planned for us. We say keep our river free. No buoys, no wall.